What's up, y'all? One Piece One Life here, and guys, you know what I haven't done in a while? A good theory video. Now, I am not a theory person, I am not a theorist, and yet sometimes there are just pieces of information that slot together so well when I think about it that I'm just like, wait, why don't I put out a theory video about this? And I love theory videos personally because it's essentially headcanon. It just allows me to express or broaden my scope of understanding, of potential understanding of One Piece. I haven't done one in a while, so I thought, you know what, let me bring one back. And the theory that I got for y'all today, this one's different because it literally affects the One Piece treasure itself. I don't want to spoil too much here at the beginning, but just know today's video we're going to be talking about the One Piece treasure is not here yet. But before I go on to explaining this theory, y'all, please do something for me. Like the video, subscribe to the channel for more One Piece content just like this. We recently just passed 600 and we are high flying. The channel is doing amazingly and we're gaining like 10 subs a day. I love y'all. To everybody who's new, welcome. I'm sure you'll love to check out the other stuff that I got on my channel after this video, of course, and share it around with all your friends who love the series. You know what we always say here, let's get it going. Oh, and make sure you subscribe to me and my boys over at CSY. You know that we're heading towards mission 5K. Now, first things first, I just want to preface it with the thought that I got this idea from Mr. Morge's stream. I was in there one time and somebody had offhandedly mentioned this. Then I thought about it and actually developed it myself, but I still want to give a shout out to that. I'm sure y'all know who Mr. Morge is, but in case you don't, the link to him will also be in the description of this video. So, you hear a title like The One Piece Isn't Here Yet, and you're confused, obviously. What do you mean by that, strange internet man? Well, don't worry, I'm gonna tell you. So as far as we know, the only way to get to Laugh-Tale is by collecting all 4 road poneglyphs, and when you line them up, their coordinates together will point you in a certain direction. But here's the thing, I don't think that it just points you to the island. I think the only way that this happens is if the poneglyphs point you to something that you need in order to take down some sort of barrier that the island is repressed on, or it's gonna lead you to something that helps you get there, not directly to the island itself. And I mean, to me this makes sense because just think about it. If Laugh-Tale is just an island, and I'm saying, maybe it's a hard island, maybe it's deep in the New World, whatever, but it's just an island. You would think that someone in 24 years of everybody sailing up and down the Grand Line, all the connections that all of these big factions have, the Marines, the Yonko, the Revs, you think no one would have found this island in 24 years? Surely somebody would have stumbled upon it, or at least have been in the area. This theory dictates that the One Piece treasure isn't here yet, and by not here yet, I mean it is not in this time era. Like literally, it is not yet on Laugh-Tale because it still needs to be sent to this time period. My idea here is that whatever the One Piece truly is, Joy Boy is having it be sent from the Void Century time through Toki's power. And that when the time is right, which with the help of fate, one of One Piece's most major themes, will be when Luffy and the Straw Hats find it or arrive at Laugh-Tale, that's when it will appear. And see, I believe that there is the reason that no one can find the One Piece. It's not here yet. Even if you stumble on an island that you wouldn't know to be Laugh-Tale, there's nothing to indicate that. You go there and you see maybe just treasure or something, but you have no context for the fact that it's the actual One Piece. Now this would definitely tie some things together. It definitely fits the bill as to why Roger and his crew laughed when they reached Laugh-Tale, because imagine you go through this whole journey, you endure all of these hardships just to get to the final island and think you're gonna be rewarded with something huge, and then nothing's there. I don't know about y'all, but for me that would definitely lead to hysterics. But the part that it supports even more is the idea of why Roger and Odin kept noting that they were early. Their dialogue kept mentioning, oh, we're way too early, this isn't the promised time yet, so I guess we can't really do anything about it. It would also tie into the prophecy angle of One Piece, especially because most prophecies, I think almost every prophecy that we've gotten so far in the series, all has a time component to it. You think about it with the Dawn of the World prophecy that we saw through Lily's letter. She mentioned that it would be important to protect the poneglyphs and to bear the flag that brings the dawn of the world. The same symbolism we keep hearing on and on about the dawn of the world being at a specific time, or how the world is just not ready for this kind of change yet. Which makes it interesting that that prophecy has such a close tie to Toki's prophecy on Wano, and larger, I think that Toki's prophecy on Wano may actually be a microcosm for what's gonna happen to the One Piece world on a macro scale, which she would know of because, it's through her power that all this is possible. When she made her prophecy on Wano, she mentions that at a fated time, 20 years from that point, which is now, 9 shadows shall be cast, woven together, and it's only at that point that Wano will be liberated and free to do as they please, learning the radiance of dawn. And the way that Toki was able to say and specify 20 years so accurately, predict it so accurately, I feel like there's a reason that she's able to do this. I think it refers to the fact that now is the time that Joy Boy's successor would be alive and active, getting ready to actually make that change in the world, and this just so happens to also coincide with Wano's liberating. This is the true person who's going to fulfill Joy Boy's will, and this is the person who's going to find the One Piece, and it couldn't be Roger because he's not at the right time. Like, it was really almost like Toki was saying, oh, so you wanna take over Wano now, huh, Kaido? Huh, Orochi? Oh, say less. 20 years from now, a magical crackhead is gonna pull up and beat both of y'all into the earth, and then we'll see who's laughing. And you know what? Orochi was right to be scared because that it's a ghost. That's exactly what happened. Maybe because Wano's been closed off for so long, maybe potentially even closed off since the Void Century times itself, maybe part of the prophecy is that whoever this person is, Luffy, who would fulfill Joy Boy's will, this person is known as a warrior of liberation, and so he's gonna go around liberating all sorts of countries, Wano included. But you know what else it makes me think of? Joy Boy's apology on Fishman Island. Joy Boy himself told the Mermaid Princess, I'm sorry, I cannot fulfill the promise to you that I said I would, but I know that somebody in the future who will fulfill my will can. It's so specific to where it doesn't sound like Joy Boy is just saying, oh yeah, well hopefully one day, maybe this will happen. Nah. It's very matter-of-factly, almost as if, he's denoting a specific time period. And this would be bolstered, especially if the popular theory that's going around in the community that Toki used to be Joy Boy's crewmate or friend way back in the Void Century ends up actually being true. Because we know that Toki was from the Void Century, but not necessarily that she knew Joy Boy. That hasn't been confirmed yet, but come on. And we know that this is possible because it even mentions that despite her being from Wano Country's Amatsuki family, Toki herself doesn't know much about her homeland, implying that she wasn't there. She wasn't in Wano itself, meaning that she was probably traveling in other places. To bolster the time point even more, Roger himself says, oh Joy Boy, how I wish I'd been born in your time. Meaning we can imply that time has a significant part to play in this whole story. Perhaps the fact that in Joy Boy's time, that was when the One Piece in its entirety was there. And now, even as they got there, either there's nothing or, it's like small fragments and doubloons and stuff everywhere, but the true One Piece treasure itself is not there. And then finally, another crazy piece of evidence that could actually really tie all this together is that this may be the reason why Rayleigh has Luffy wait and train for 2 years. Because it's a crazy coincidence that all these things end up lining up together and joining up together perfectly at this one moment post-time skip. One might say, almost like fate. Think back to when Usopp almost spoiled the adventure for them when he asked Rayleigh, yo, could you tell us what the One Piece is? Rayleigh really pushed for them to find out about it themselves. Which, yeah, partly may be because, there's a whole romanticism element to finding out and figuring out all of this stuff for yourself, not just being handed it to you. That's part of the adventure. I understand that, and while that could all be true, what if at the same time Rayleigh's also thinking, it wouldn't serve any purpose for me to tell you guys now because now isn't the time. You wouldn't even be able to understand what it means or formulate anything out of it because this isn't the promised time to actually make use of this information. He even says, let's see if y'all can come to a different conclusion than we did, or a conclusion, implying that the Roger Pirates, when they got there wasn't really a conclusion, or at least a solid one, to be had. Given the context of what we know and the way that they were laughing, it's like we have the info here, we have the pieces of the puzzle, but we can't put the puzzle together. Stuff is still missing. It's also interesting to note that it's only now, after Luffy has awakened, after Wano's been liberated, that Shanks has decided to actually make a vying effort for the One Piece. Now I know something that is definitely going to trip people up and be a major counter to this theory. People are going to say, wait a second, Roger was the one who left the One Piece on Laugh Tale. So how is it possible that he's still waiting for it to be sent from the Void Century? But here's the thing, we learn and can imply from chapters 967 and 968, which are the chapters where the Roger pirates land on Laugh Tale itself, that Roger added to the One Piece treasure with stuff that he collected from his journey. So he was leaving the things that he collected at this place, but that doesn't mean that there wasn't anything before it. Now, he left all of the stuff that he got at this place, but that means that with the way that we're meant to be implying it, at least, there's something, or at least is meant to be something, in addition to what Roger left, something that was already there. Just to address another counter real quick is that people will ask, well, how is it possible for Toki to send it if Toki's dead? Obviously, this is going to depend on how Oda is going to implement time travel, but from the way I'm seeing it, if Toki sends it already in the Void Century, then her also leaping forward in time doesn't have any bearing on what actually happens to the treasure being sent itself. If memory serves, it even seems like Toki was, trying to jump to a specific point in time, but kept failing, almost like, oh wait, this isn't the era, this isn't the era, and was about to jump again, but then she met Odin and chose not to. Now, with all that being said, what is the actual One Piece treasure itself? My guess is still as good as anybody's. One thing I was thinking about is that it may be some sort of device or mechanism to actually be able to bring the world together in one piece, which would involve, taking down the huge red line walls and etc., connecting all the oceans, connecting to my Luffy's Dream Theory video that I made last summer, which was partially confirmed in chapter 1138 when we got the huge Elbaf mural, as well as just throughout the Vegapunk speech section of Egghead. Another idea is that it could be when all three ancient weapons are actually combined together under one force that is the One Piece. Now, as a gag joke, I really do like the idea that it's just Bink Sake, and there's a reason that Bink Sake is sung that song all around the world, because it was an actual guy called Bink, and his sake bottle is indeed what the One Piece is. And just a note being like, ha ha ha, fooled ya. I don't know, I can see that being funny. But I would definitely want y'all's opinions on this. What do you think the actual One Piece treasure is? And more importantly, do you think that it's already in this era? Do you think it could actually possibly be true? The fact that the One Piece treasure isn't here yet? Or you think that, well, this is useless because everything's already on Laugh Tale and it's just about finding it? Like I always say with theories, guys, we're just putting ideas out there, throwing darts at a board and seeing which one sticks. If it doesn't come true, that's okay. And if it does, I told you so. But please make sure to let me know all your thoughts and more in the comments below. Now that is going to be the end of the video, y'all, but before we go, please like the video, subscribe to the channel for more One Piece content just like this every week, and share it around with your friends who love the series or anime and manga in general. Remember, I'm trying to build a community, but I need your help to do it. Well, that's going to be all for me. I'll catch y'all in the next one. And always remember, One Piece, one life. So did anybody else realize how Toki's prophecy didn't actually come true, at least in the way that we expected it to? Because when you think about it, who are the 9 shadows? Because you'd think that they're the 9 scabbards, obviously, but that's not true. Not only were there not 9 scabbards, because there were technically 10 with the whole Chondro betrayal thing and then Izo coming back, but then at the same time, they're also not the ones who liberated Wano. Then a lot of people thought, well, it must be referring to the Straw Hats, since remember, at the time that we heard the prophecy, Jinbei hadn't joined back up yet. But then when he joined back up right before the raid, we're like, well, now this doesn't fit because it's 10 of them. 11 if you count Yamato, 12 if you count Carrot, which I don't, but I just really wish I could. So all in all, Toki, do better next time, which is what I would have said if you weren't dead.